Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Jesse, your DM.
Cody playing Lazarus.
Brennan playing Diz.
Mike playing Nim.
Britt playing Kenna.
And we are Double Doubles and Dragons. We're a group of goofy Canadians that have gotten together to play a little D&D. Sometimes we will say things that are inoffensive. We mean them as jokes, of course, and they're certainly funny to us, but some people may find this offensive. If you do, we apologize, but we don't want any hate mail about it. So just don't listen, okay? Let's jump right into the action. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Quick recap of where we're at so far. So the party woke up, decided they were going to go check out that sawmill that's on fire, and found out it was going to be 12 hours to get there in the market rung. Turns out the market rung's a fairly decently sized place. Started about their journey. The first 4 hours were pretty uneventful, but after that they got a bit of a bad luck roll and encountered the Black Knight, who turned out to be pretty intimidating overall. Definitely an interesting fellow. Kind of looks like a big balled-up prison and all inside a suit of armor, and Nim passed out because he cast a spell, and overall everybody seems fine now. Everybody's ready to begin?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So yeah, he seems to be moving more and more away. You notice the vibration level in the ground is dropping steadily over time, and obviously you haven't felt that increase in gravity in some time. At this point, the helper, the greeter walks out of the building. All right, are we ready to begin moving again?
Of course.
All right, please follow me. All right.
Probably got some stiffness to walk out.
Yeah, just a little. This awkward bending of the bones. Okay.
And then I want to ask him some questions too.
Sure.
I'm assuming Kenna actually shared what they said, which was like next to nothing, but...
They just said they didn't know
Nothing.
why his hands were
They know
bound.
nothing.
So is every... Mr. Guide?
Yes?
Sorry, a question that Black Knight has just been in my mind since we met him. And is every mithril level adventurer like chained or bound in some way? Is there any? Are they all like as out of place as that night?
The mithril-level adventurers do not often come to this rung. However, to my knowledge, the Black Knight is the only mithril adventurer that has that specific situation.
Out of the mithril knights that you have seen, is there like a ranking among them? Do you know which ones are more apt at their jobs?
I'm not aware of the ranking of the Adventurers Guild. You would probably be able to find that out on the Adventurer Guild rung. They, I believe, have a maintained list of who ranks where in terms of job requests and jobs completed, that sort of thing.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. So, the rest of the travel is more or less uneventful, and thanks to a bit of the detour caused by the Black Knight, you do notice things shift rather abruptly into night, when you feel like you've probably got at least another half an hour to go. As it shifts to night, you do notice that each shop has a light attached to their sign, so it does provide a pretty decent amount of illumination, so it's not like you have to walk in the pitch black. It's definitely enough. The other thing that you notice is in the direction that you've been going as you stare off into the horizon, though it has abruptly shifted to nighttime.
Is there a glow?
There is definitely a glow. It's actually fairly sizable as well. Like, it is giving off, think like, not quite as bad as like a modern day city glow where it seems to, you can see it for quite a ways and it washes out quite a bit, but there's definitely a fairly intense fire over there somewhere.
Yes.
All right, we will need to move a little bit more carefully as the light has dropped, but as you can see, we are not too far away from our destination. I have advised ahead that some adventurers are coming to take a look at the situation, and one of the sergeants in charge of the Bucket Brigade has indicated that he would like to talk to you when you arrive, if that is all right.
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
All right, we will continue onward then. As you continue moving towards the fire, as you get to about maybe 10 minutes away, you do start to be able to see the flames themselves licking on top of kind of the sight line of the buildings in front of you. And more importantly, you can actually start to feel the heat already from here. So it's definitely a pretty sizable burn. It's not intensely hot, but you can just tell there's definitely been an air temperature change. It's more noticeable probably because it's nighttime, so it does get a little bit colder as well. Anything you guys want to do at this point before you approach the people there?
Not particularly.
Okay. So, allow me to describe the situation that you walk into.
Oh, God.
So, you've been told that this sawmill is set ablaze. Sawmill is perhaps not exactly the correct word that one would use to describe this building, although that is definitely what people call it. It's a very significant sized building. Think closer to like a warehouse nowadays. So while it may be a sawmill, it's not, like a Skyrim type sawmill where it's like one building width wide. It's definitely a fairly significant structure. As such, the fact that it's on fire is creating a fairly significant fire. It's, the fire itself is probably at least 6 or 7 buildings wide and maybe 3 or 4 deep. That's about the size of this large warehouse-like building. The entire thing is on fire, from top to sides to, it looks like inside. It's kind of hard to tell. There are windows sporadically about, and they certainly glow with a certain radiance inside. As you approach, you do notice that there's been an area that's been cordoned off and kind of, not taped off, but somebody's put up wooden barricades to kind of keep the streets closed. The guide does move you through them carefully, and you do see some individuals that are wearing not quite the same outfit as the guards or army have been wearing. Not that detailed or intricate. More of a chainmailed version that isn't as inscribed. And yes, I know I just got a look from Dis. They're also wearing talbrids that have a fire and a bucket and water on them, which seems to kind of mark them as the firefighters here. But seeing that you're with one of the greeters, they do wave you on through. One of them does gruffly kind of mention, "Sergeant's gonna want to see you down that way."
Nod.
All right. So as you proceed that way, Bucket Brigade, they definitely are. You can see them passing buckets between them, tossing it on the fire. However, that's not all they're doing to put out the fire. There are about, at least in your field of view as you approach this larger building, which does have the road kind of like squares off around it to give it access from all sides to a road. And that entire area is filled with people, though you can only see a small chunk of that. They do also appear to have magic casters at their disposal. There are several individuals that are standing there and making motions and casting various spells that all seem to be directed at putting the fire out. Some of them are creating water from nothing and it's sloshing towards the fire. Some of them are creating big clouds above it that are, that kind of stuff. Somebody's using ice. There's a couple people using more like blizzard and ice knife and that kind of thing as spells as well. Overall, it seems to be a fairly cohesive effort to keep the fire under control. And it's only that one building, but it really does give you the impression that it's like barely being contained.
And they've only assigned iron to this many days later.
Well,
that sounds like normal tech support request.
That's right. Well, it's a good point. You haven't really asked, how people decide what ranking a certain task receives. So, you're not sure why this has been marked as an iron level task. As you approach, there is an individual who you assume is probably the sergeant. He's barking orders at people. He's got a big handlebar mustache. He's got a slightly nicer suit of armor than the people around him, though it is absolutely caked in soot at this point. And every once in a while, he, stares at the fire, kind of, in quiet anger at it. He just seems to be very intense.
He's personally
individual.
affronted to the fire.
Yeah, the fact that the fire exists is clearly bothering this individual. As you approach, he's a little bit busy, so you kind of approach and he's in the middle of staring at something on a piece of, a clipboard that he's looking at.
Hello. Are you the sergeant?
Just sort of looks up and he goes, Yes, I am. Can I help you? Adventurers,
We're Surf and Turf. We are responding to the request for help with this fire.
I had heard you were being sent to deal with the fire.
You most certainly have a big one on your hands.
We do. She is a fearsome beast, but she will be put down. You can be assured of that.
And we are here to assist with that, of course.
Forgive me, I'm being rude. You are Surf and Turf. I am Sergeant Blaine, Fire Hater. As you
I
can see-
understand, Sergeant Blaine. I'm also a fire hater.
No, dear lady, that is my surname. I come from a long line of fire haters. We have been fighting fires since my grandpappy first encountered his
My God,
first
you ran into
fire.
that
I sure did. Brick wall.
He gets very gazy off in the distance and very intensely staring.
Have you ever seen a fire like this?
I have. They are the worst fires.
What? Well, how did you stop it last time?
We killed the demon that created it.
How
Which is why we believe this one is caused by a demon as well.
How did you find that demon?
We went into the fire.
You physically went in the fire?
Yes,
Wasn't that hot?
it was.
Did you just went in with regular clothing? Did you have an enchantment or some sort of magical wish-wash?
We had protection from the fire.
And where can we get protection from the fire?
We here are protected. I assumed adventurers like yourselves would come with some method of protection.
Of course, we normally would, but we weren't expecting a demon of this variety.
So you know it's a demon then?
Well, I believe your story. I see you're a man of experience when it comes to fire.
I am.
And just saying that, we weren't expecting this, and we might not be fully prepared. Would it be possible for you guys to help protect us from the fire as we go in and try to find the demon?
My men contain the she-beast, but I may be able to spare a few to cut you a passage into her hot center.
We will enter that center,
Oh!
fury in our hearts.
God damn it.
Yes,
Oh, God.
that is the only way to take the beast
May I
from
check,
within.
what's the width by length of this building?
So if you imagine
I just give it a cursor.
each of the shops is at least 10 feet wide, if not more than that, probably closer to 15 on the average shop size. So it's 200 to 300 feet wide and probably just about as deep. It's a fairly fearsome structure. If you are ready, we can create for you an opening into her middle, and you can proceed.
Lazarus should make a pass around first.
You wish to take her in from all sides. It is a wise choice. One should never be caught off guard by the flames.
Is there any...
Lazarus will attempt to see if he can detect any sort of demon or otherwise.
You may, if you are piercing around the sides of the building, be aware it does have 3 basement levels as well. It is deep. The fire has penetrated within.
And is there any possibility that this isn't caused by a demon, but caused by something else?
We know not the cause of the fire. Only 2 facts are known for certain.
outside of the obvious fact that this is a fire and the building is on fire, the two facts we have are this. Gruff Woodwalker, the owner of this establishment, has been missing since the fire began. And 2, the fire is a rough mistress, and she will not go out easily.
Now, is this one of those fires that if I, created more fire around it, it would just, snuff it out?
He sort of, looks over at you, and he's just like, I know not of a fire that can be put out by another fire.
I mean, it was worth an idea.
If you wish to cast fire within the beast, that's your prerogative. But I will not tolerate it here, on the edges, where we are the last line of defense between the she-bitch of flame and the innocent hearts of the people here.
I can tell you're committed.
I am.
So are we. We'll stop this she-bitch of a fire.
He kind of he just nods, gives you that slow nod. Tell me when you are ready, and we will punch a hole through her defenses for you.
Very well. Lazarus doesn't suppose your mistress has anything to add about this fire.
My mistress?
Really?
I mean, I can try to contact her.
Are you asking me as well to contact my god, Meyer?
If you feel so inclined, Masterdess.
Is there any area around here that just is a little bit more nature and a little less market? Even if it's just a little park.
There was a park about 4 minutes back or so.
I'll be back.
Very well, Lazarus shall do his loop.
Okay.
And you could check with Meyer if Gruff Woodwalker is with him?
Sure can. Let's see
If he's missing, is he alive? Is he dead? We could figure that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to check, but I'm just warning you now, reception might be spotty.
I don't know how this whole god thing works, because mine just kind of has forsaken me. So.
I've only got
Get
one
there
bar
eventually.
here.
Can you hear me now? I want to touch the necklace I constantly keep on.
Okay.
Just...
Do you do that here, or do you want to find a private place?
No, I just do it right here in the eye of the fire.
Okay.
You're not in the eye of the fire.
I was assuming it had an eye and I was looking out, and then I realized that's a stupid picture of a fire, but I went with it.
This isn't the Sauron
Yeah,
eye.
it's not
It's just a
Sauron
warehouse
helmet.
fire.
The Sauron helmet had me on it.
Sauron's helmet, Gimli being tossed. I guess it's been pretty Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
been- yeah.
pretty Lord of the Ringy this episode.
Yeah, I'll just do it right there and just... Meyer, are you there? I'm gonna save my head.
Okay, fair enough. We'll see how that goes in a minute. In the meantime, Kenna's off to look for what she's looking for from my leaky, and Lazarus, you're going to check the perimeter. Is there anything in particular you're looking at the perimeter?
Lazarus is gonna cast Detect Evil and Good on himself.
Okay. How long does that last?
10 minutes.
And how deep does it penetrate?
30. So
Okay.
Lazarus is gonna try to get as close as he can and try and just get that outsword.
Okay.
Little barely bit of a scope inside, see because it also picks up elementals. So
Yes. And there's, I believe, is it one of the ones where you can't see through 5 feet of rock or whatever, or 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, or a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood? Okay, so chances are you'll have your best luck probably by the windows, and then just try to get as deep as you can anyway.
yeah, just sort of sense in there.
Sure, that sounds good. Nim, what are you doing while everybody's out and about?
I'll go approach the magic users, and I'll just start prestidigitationing and mage handing out. I'll use the mage hand to pat out fire, and I'll use prestidigitation says it can snuff out up to a small campfire worth of fire. So I'll just continually cast that, kind of putting fire out.
All right, fair enough. All right, who should we do first? We'll do Kenna first. So, Kenna, you find a small, secluded area that's a little bit more, not quite like a park, but like an area that's been set up with a little bit of green life and to kind of just chop up the monotonous market environment.
Okay.
There's 2 small trees and some flower beds.
I want to go up to one of the trees and like lean against it and then sit with my legs crossed and then just be like, Maliki. It's hard to say in this accent. Maliki.
My leaky.
Has such a...
Maliki. Calling to you. Need some help?
Sorry, it's just a really funny mental image.
It's all good.
Let's see. Roll a luck roll.
Choose your own dice.
11.
11. Okay. You sit there for a little while, but you get a little bit of a feeling from the plant life around you. It's kind of the... how to describe it? You can almost, like, feel that it's afraid. Like, there's a certain amount of trepidation in the plant life around with a fire being that close. They can kind of sense it, and there's that little bit of a survival instinct within the plant life. However, you do not receive any direct word from Myliki, or at least nothing that you can recognize as that.
Are any of the flower plants like not open? Like, is the blossoms that need to be open or anything like that?
No, it's mostly grass.
Mostly grass.
The flower beds themselves are mostly shrubs and that sort of thing.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try talking to the grass.
Okay.
Trees and the bushes.
Okay.
It's alright, guys. I'm here to make sure that fire don't get you. But I also need some help from my leaky, so if you guys could help me get her, that'd be really appreciated. And I want to, like, be petting the grass as I do this. Like,
Okay.
trying to send good energy to it.
So, petting the grass and telling them this message, you suddenly hear, like, 1,000 little voices, because it's, like, each blade of grass, and they're all just like, the fire!
I know the fire's scary. I'm just trying to help you guys.
Fire bed!
Fire is very bad. It is. It's scary, isn't it? Is there any, like, rain barrels or, like, puddles of water or anything around this area?
Not around this area specifically, no. Most of it's been taken to help with the fire.
Right, of course. I want to take out my water skin and I want to, like, just, like, douse some water onto the grass.
Okay. There's kind of that, like, you, like, douse the fire on them and they just kind of, like, sway happily back and forth a little bit. But almost immediately, they're just kind of like, fire!
Okay, I'm going to try talking to the tree.
All right.
Grass
all right.
can't get through. Just say the same thing.
Okay. The trees are a slightly different response, but the core message is very much the same. There's very much there's a fire.
They are plants.
I know they are.
It's so tough with Speak with Plants because it's just like, yeah, you want to like give them a little bit, but like they're still plants.
I know there's a fire, and I'm trying to help you guys. I just need to get a hold of Maliki. Do you know who Maliki is?
And there's just sort of another pause, and then we don't like fire.
I don't like fire either. I prefer water and ice.
Water is good.
Can we try watering the tree a little now?
Sure, absolutely. So you pour a little bit of water on the tree, and it just goes, ah.
Okay, and I'm gonna try contacting my Leaky again.
All right, fair enough. Roll another luck roll.
14.
Okay. So you sit there for a little while longer. You feel closer to Myaliki, but there's no direct connection. But you do get a sense of wrongness in the area, more palpable than before. Something unnatural is occurring, or at least that's the feeling you get.
All right. I'll stay there for a little bit longer and see if I can try to get more out of it.
Okay.
Without trying to cast any spells.
Fair enough. Nim, we'll go to you next. So you're up there and you're mage handing, and the individual that you've decided to stand next to is actually a halfling wizard, and she just kind of looks over at you at one point and kind of like looks at you and then like looks over at what you're doing, and she just kind of like leans over and she's like, "You know that's not going to do anything, right?"
What?
The mage hand. That mage hand's not going to put the fire out.
I mean, it's not hurting, is it?
Well, I mean, not technically. Do you need a hand, little mage?
No, I already have an extra one.
Yeah, like gives you one of those like that wasn't nearly as funny as you thought it was looks. And she just sort of, can you cast level 2s?
Yes.
Fine. And she like reaches into her clothing and pulls out a spell scroll and hands it to you.
Oh boy.
She goes, "Here, it's gust of wind. It's only got 2 uses, but at least you might be able to stop yourself from dying."
Wait, isn't there rules that wizards can transcribe from spell scrolls?
If you take time to do it, yes.
Okay.
I will have to double check the rules because I think there's a certain amount of gold involved and all that sort of stuff.
There is gold involved. There's always gold.
And I think you need like a long rest at the very least, if not more than that. We'll have to double check the rules.
I think it's 50 GP per level, so I think it'd be 100 GP to transcribe it.
Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar. I'll double check my notes for spell scribing.
I guess I can use one use of it then?
She did say it had 2 uses. Gust of wind, by the way, it creates a blast of wind 60 feet long and 10 foot wide that blasts from you in any direction that you choose. Each creature starting its turn in that area must make a strength saving throw or be pushed 15 feet in the direction the wind is blowing. This wind disperses vapors and has a 50% chance to snuff out protected fires. You can redirect the wind each round as a bonus action, and it lasts up to a minute as concentration.
So you can create yourself little tunnels at a minute at a time.
That's right.
Might want to hold on to that.
But only for 2 minutes.
That's all we need. Hopefully.
One hopes.
I'll be very thankful, but then I'll just go to prestidigitationing it out.
Fair enough. Yeah, you can prestidigitation out little spots according to the spell, but you do notice definitely, like, even as you prestidigitation, you can already see the fire, like, continuing to spread back to where you've put it, which seems to be consistent with what luck other people are having.
I still have a potion of clairvoyance.
Just clairvoyance help gives
Insight into, like, the future and such.
In the meantime, we will go to Dis. So Dis, you're standing there, you're touching the necklace. What are you saying?
Yo, Meyer, it's been a while. You there? I have a problem with demon fire.
Okay. There's a bit of awareness, but it kind of comes as like you can almost feel the how does that relate to me feeling coming through the connection.
If I can stop the demon fire, I can sacrifice the demon fire.
There's a little more interest, but like you feel like it's looking for something.
What are you supposed
Like
to
why
be
it would be
asking, Brennan?
curious. I feel like Dis forgot why he was
I think so.
contacting
I know I'm
Meyer.
content. I'm trying to think. There's an owner of the shop that the demon fire consumed, apparently. I could find him. With your help.
When you mention that somebody's missing or might have been consumed, there's a moment where the necklace that you've put your hands on, there's a bit of like chill from that. And you're kind of like, oh, that's weird. And then like the next time you blink, you open your eyes and you're just in that sea of blackness.
Whoa.
Just sort of, hey man, it's been a while. Was this you be saying about a soul left this world? I've not heard about it.
Yes. Name was Gruff Woodwalker.
Don't recognize him, man.
So he's still alive, is what you're saying?
Or gone somewhere else, maybe. You go look for him, little elf. You tell Meyer what you find.
Is he in the plane I'm currently in over there?
I'd only know where his soul was, man. Not where his body be if he alive.
Where's his soul?
Don't know, man. That's what you gotta go look for.
I can do that.
You
Any
sort of-
place we should start looking for his soul?
kind of like, there's kind of that like, I'd recommend in the fire, man. It is his building, after all.
All right, will do. Thanks for the help, Meyer.
You've been enjoying those weapons, aye?
Yeah, they're slashy, stabby, stabby.
You should finish them when you get the time.
That will do.
And there's kind of that, like, dismissed feeling, and you just kind of snap back into your body.
Whoa.
Nice. Look around. You have a straight me, right?
Yeah, I think he said he was nearby.
Yeah, I didn't go too far. I just went to the nearest spellcaster. So.
I run up them.
All right.
Nim. I talked to Meyer. I got a hold of him. The reception was great.
Oh, that's good.
He said he doesn't know, or he seems to say that Gruff Woodwalker hasn't died yet. Or he hasn't seen his soul. And we need to find it to stop this, and he recommends going into the fire.
Sounds like we gotta go into the fire.
We gotta go into the fire.
I got this crazy spell scroll. I might be able to learn a new spell, and it's gonna help us. It's like a gust of wind that puts out fire.
Holy shit, can you like speed Bird up with that?
I don't think Bird would like that.
Hey, Bird, we need to get there real fast.
We were talking
We
about built for
just
speed.
build a cannon and load the bird in and then just set the spellcaster at the bottom.
I'd recommend against building cannons. That didn't work out so well for you last time. I will note as well when he's like, look at this crazy spell scroll I got. The half-elf, or not half-elf, the halfling beside him, the woman beside him, just like, you see her like visibly roll her eyes at him saying it's like a fantastic spell scroll.
Like that woman's about to faint. We gotta be careful.
It's just, she's really impressed with my magical skills.
I can understand that.
Well, she like slaps him with a mage hand or something.
Both of you roll dexterity saving throws.
Oh, that's not good.
I use my inspiration.
Okay. Alright.
All right,
This
we're
is
going into a
his
fire. And
inspiration.
he's going to use his fucking inspiration now.
That's funny. I like it. Don't worry, the gust of wind will help.
Maybe.
It's a fantastical spell. Level 2.
21.
Alright.
10?
So, when you're like, as soon as Nim is like, oh yeah, she's like super impressed with my magic abilities, you just like, you get this like nagging feeling, and just on pure instinct, you tuck and roll as Nim just gets like a huge, like 10-foot wide ball of water just appears above Nim and just drenches him.
Holy crap, Nim, that was a crazy spell. How did you do that? I haven't seen you use that before.
He's like coughing and like he's like half drowned.
I wasn't expecting it. I had to jump away.
Like prestidigitationing myself dry and just like I think you could.
Yeah, you can prestidigitation yourself dry.
Oh yeah, because I've dried Lazarus's armor and stuff. Then it was just like that's a new spell I learned. It's called Sphere of Water.
Wow, that's really cool. That'll be useful inside of the fire.
Yeah, I think it was like the only time I could cast it though.
Oh, I don't really understand how
I wish Lazarus
but I guess
was
that
here.
makes sense.
That'd be funny to watch.
And then I want to like slowly turn and look at the halfling and see what the look on her face is.
The halfling is totally giving you that, if I didn't need all my spell slots to fight this fire, I would just drown you right now.
I need my levels 4 spell slot. I'm not going to polymorpher.
I don't know if that go well anyway.
It's not a hostile action.
No, but she is part of a brigade.
Also, sometimes unhostile actions are taken as hostile, and then that can turn into a messy situation.
I mean, I'm not ramming her with polymorph.
Whoa, shots fired.
All right, well, let's take a break from all the tension and go to Lazarus.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
How am I?
So do you have to do perception checks when you have? So you're just basically like
I have a 30.
passively radaring, so to
I have
speak.
a 60-foot diameter.
Okay. So as you make your circuit around the building, you never find what I would call direct evidence of fiend, elemental, or the like. That being said, there's a lot of kind of leavings of that energy. You never could point to a spot on the wall and be like, there's totally an elemental on the other side of that wall. But you definitely get there's definitely elementals in that building somewhere.
Okay, so elementals I'm picking up on.
Yes, you definitely get the feeling of elemental. You do not feel fiend, even after searching the entire outside of the building.
The time where I felt elementals the strongest, I'll divine sense on top of it, because that goes out an extra 30 feet, but it only tells me the strong.
Okay.
Good or evil thing.
Let's see. Is that one also restricted by, like, stone and that sort of thing?
It doesn't say in the shorthand here. I'll check the law.
Yeah, give that a quick
I
check.
think it is the paladin feature. I don't think it is.
In the meantime, just while you're reading that, Kenna, you have no further luck with my leaky.
No, it's not.
Brittany says that, not Kenna.
I was going to say, thou shalt not take their Lord's name in vain. I take that much more seriously than the Bible does.
Yeah,
And the Bible already takes it pretty seriously.
I don't-
script here.
Kenna doesn't say anything.
It's like until next turn, you know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
Before we go attack
That is
this.
not behind total cover.
That's
Okay.
the only
Because
clause.
I think
Okay.
I want to put tidal wave on.
So it probably, in certain places, it might get you a little bit of a deeper peer
just
into
like
the building.
Like, it's,
It would
like
be a really
when I
good
feel like there's kind of like a hallway or a window.
Yeah.
Or something, I'll ping them down.
Okay, that seems fair. When you go by one of the windows near the back of the building, you do get, kind of at the very edge of that ping, you do feel a desecrated feeling. Kenna, would you like to do anything else while you're out there?
I want to take a long rest.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you no, but the rest of your team might wonder where you went.
She's been consumed.
I'll go find them and then tell them I need to take a long rest.
All right. So, as you return, I would imagine Lazarus is probably just completing his circuit of the building.
How many casts of detect would I need?
To do the entire building, it lasts a minute?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Probably just 2. Even with you being fairly thorough, I think 2 would probably cover it, more or less. So you would come back to... Lazarus is just returning to the group. Dis and Nim seem to be kind of just chatting each other up, so to speak. And by the time you arrive, Nim is dry, but he's standing on a slowly disappearing puddle of water.
I wonder what happened.
I'm sure Kenna can probably jump to conclusions.
None of them to Nim's benefit, I would
No.
imagine.
Probably not. Well, did you guys find anything out?
Yeah, I talked to Meyer.
Oh, what did he say?
He said we gotta go and find the soul of Gruff Woodwalker.
The owner, and why?
Does that mean he's dead?
No, he said he hadn't seen him yet, so it's possible he's still alive.
Or someone else captured his soul.
Or that. And he's not sure. He didn't actually give me, like, super high amounts of information, but he did seem interested.
Yeah, gods suck like that.
Either way, we have
Immortality.
we have to save his soul or save his life. One of the two.
I agree.
Well, Lazarus has turned up traces of elementals on the inside, as well as one potential spot of a perhaps worse desecration near the end.
Well, that's just hunky-dory, isn't it?
Fantastic.
It also means we may wish to begin our immediate search within that back area, should we go inside.
I'm thinking that we should call it a night for tonight. They clearly got this on lockdown, and start at it in the morning.
Do we need anything special to hurt elementals? Those of us who are less magically inclined.
Lazarus would not know.
Is anybody with that wind elemental?
Could I do a
chance we never fought
history check?
Yeah, you could do it.
I've read,
Pretty
I've
sure
read a
Lazarus
few
remembers
books.
his hammer hitting it, but didn't last.
Yes. Yeah, I would say you would definitely remember that, though a wind demon or elemental is obviously perhaps different than what you might encounter here.
I know nothing.
Elementals are hard. It's hard to remember what's written down in books. Only really Nim has that weird ability.
I mean, I still rolled an 8.
Does Nim know about elementals?
History.
I don't know. Nim doesn't know social convention enough not to shit-talk a mage while standing right next to her, so...
Does that surprise anyone?
No, that's great.
That's Nim.
That is Nim. I will give him that.
He will try to remember anything he can about elementals, particularly fire ones.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 13.
All right. Nim knows a little bit about elementals, namely that they're usually made up of a specific element. They do tend to be difficult to converse with as they don't know common. And on occasion, they can be hurt by the opposite element.
Back to what I was saying. If we tucked in for a night's sleep.
What are you planning to prepare?
Tidal wave.
Do you want to read it out to them?
I can do that.
Since the poor paladin and certainly the poor Des probably have no idea.
You conjure up a wave of water that crashes down on an area within range. The area can be up to 30 feet long and up to 10 feet wide and up to 10 feet tall. Each creature in that area must make a dex save. On a failed save, a creature takes 4d8 bludgeoning damage and is knocked prone. On a successful save, a creature takes half as much damage and isn't knocked prone. The water then spreads out across the ground in all directions, extinguishing unprotected flames in its area and within 30 feet of it, and then it vanishes.
But do you have anything that can give us protection versus fire?
That, no.
So we don't have anyone that has that enchant? That's awesome.
What is there actually
Which
protection from
enchant?
fire?
Absorb elements.
Oh, absorb elements.
I mean, I can check.
It's a cantrip,
Can I-
isn't it?
Well, there's like the attacking one where you use it reactionally, but there's also
There's just like the
no. It's a
absorb
level
element.
1 protection from elements. And you
Protection
choose-
from elements is level 1. Absorb element I thought was a cantrip.
It's
there is
not a cantrip. It's a level 1 reaction.
Oh,
That's
okay,
the one
okay.
Torok used to absorb energy from an element and then smack it back.
Right, that's right. Yeah, protection from elements would be nice.
Yeah, I have protection from poison.
Well, next time I'll give you a big poison slabs to fight.
Bitch.
But I'm going to make him melt armor again.
How about this? Will that help?
I mean,
If I make it water.
see, a lot of those spells
Can I
don't,
see
like
your player's handbook for
water isn't an element, per se. In a lot of those spells, for whatever reason. Like, ice usually is, like, cold is, but not, like, water. D&D's got a kind of a blind spot
I can
when it
take
comes to
absorb
water damage.
elements.
Absorb elements? Is that the one we
Is that
want?
the cantrip?
I'll check. No, it's the first level.
Oh, then it might be the right one, then.
I think it's
One reaction.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
it's the
it's the
reaction.
reaction one.
It's reaction.
You should have protection.
Protection from energy.
Protection from
Oh, I
energy.
have that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but then
It's
you
a
can just
second
mark
level.
it fire.
No, it's a 3rd level protection from energies. Is it a druid spell too?
Nim just
It
went
is.
full-blown Yoda.
Mhm.
It's a 3rd level protection from energy is.
I was looking at the list while you were looking at the list, and yes.
Oh yeah, you can protection
Yeah.
from energy. There you go.
So I can take that.
You can take that and
That's
absorb
good.
elements.
Yeah.
Read that
What
one
is
out.
what does protection from energy do?
For the duration, the willing creature you touch has the resistance to one of the following damage types of your choice: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. Although there is no upcast, so it is literally
Yes.
just one person.
So how
That's
do we
it.
get
How long does it
4 of
last?
those? I didn't realize
It is concentration.
the
It is
most
concentration.
basic resistance to elements is going to be 3rd level.
The issue with that too is I only have 3 3rd level spots and a 4th level.
Is it concentration?
It is common.
Then you can only cast it once a time.
Yeah.
So
one person.
whoever goes in and is fighting at melee range is going to have to be the one who gets that.
Suddenly, I really wish I was red.
Um,
Could it be like on fire with lightning or anything, right?
let me
No.
check something else.
Absorb elements might be good for you as something you take anyways for yourself. Because you can use it as a reaction to reduce incoming fire damage.
Fire damage.
So I mean, there's a few things that we could put into place, but I think like the one thing is though is if I'm casting tidal wave, you guys can't be in the way, or you're gonna get fucked.
Can you cast level 4s, Nim?
I can, yeah.
There's Fire Shield.
Yeah, but as a wizard, it has to be mudbook.
Ah, yes, that's true.
I'm the only person who can.
Freely,
Put
well,
things
more or
on
less
and off.
freely switch.
Yeah.
Well, any druidic or divine as well.
You can
I
switch
can.
your.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clerics and paladins can also.
Yeah, no, I just meant in our party.
Yep. Turns out getting protection from fire is a tough one. It's almost like somebody planned that.
Are there any stores around here that sell? But we have so
We
little
have no
gold.
resources.
Yeah, no, we should not do that. Well, I think we should be reasonably fine.
Unless we go to a few different potion shops and try to strike a deal for some potions to help us with this quest in exchange for doing another quest.
Yeah.
I think that's basically what we're expected to do anyways.
Yeah, I tried to check if my spirit totems would do anything either, and they don't. I can give it advantage to attack rolls.
Nice.
Or +5 to your HP, plus my druid level. And advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws while in my aura. But I think the unicorn is more beneficial.
I think 90% of the time the unicorn's more beneficial.
Yeah.
That's why. It's potion of resistance. That's the semi-easier form of resistance to get. Has to be a potion.
See, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
Also,
so
D&D's
close.
kind of a dick, and like the base game potion of resistance is a random element rather than like one you want.
So,
But I think if you talked to the right potion vendor, they'd probably be like, I made this one a potion of fire resist. It's going to be this expensive instead.
is there any potion shops in this area?
Are you asking that question of the guides?
Yes.
There are a few potion shops in not the near vicinity, perhaps about an hour from here.
Are they open right now, or do we gotta wait?
If it's deemed an emergency, most of them live above their shops, so we may be able to get into one at this time of day. If not, the morning would be the next best option.
I suppose while we're dealing here, Lazarus will go off and, suppose pick up the sergeant, dude.
Okay. He's around. He's kind of moving about, alternating between shouting orders, staring vengefully at the fire, shaking his fist from time to time.
Yeah, I'll just pop up to him and just intend to just give him what I found. Just the 2 little snippets about that. It's probably dealing with elementals. Seems to be like first early guess. And then...
All right. As you kind of fill him in on this information, he kind of looks glassy-eyed at the fire and he goes, "Tell me, adventurer, can you take down this flame?
That is most certainly our intent.
But do you have the power to do so? Or must we request reinforcements from a higher power?"
I don't even know how to answer that. We are still examining the situation. Preparing things, as it were.
I see. He kind of he moves a little bit closer, and though it's a bit of a reach for him, he puts his hand up on the top of your shoulder, kind of from the back. You just, remember, son, if you think it's too much, this fiery woman, do not be afraid to ask for more powerful heroes to take your place. I'd hate to see the flame claim my life.
Your warning is well received.
Go then, and pierce her heart if you believe you are ready.
Alright, I'll just go back to the group.
So intense.
We need to long rest.
The druid is laying down the decision.
Sorry, we do.
I thought you were gonna finish that with just the druid is laying down. It's like we
I
have to
did
long
too.
rest. Just lays down in the middle of the road. We have to sleep. Yeah, I mean, if you guys need a long rest,
Then we'll start casting the hut, I guess. Not to any real end, but I don't know. It'll keep the temperature more.
okay. I mean, certainly nobody seems to be stopping anybody, but I mean, you could also find somewhere to sleep as well if you needed to.
Yeah, well, I was just got away the busyness for sure.
I'm just gonna hut.
Hut.
Is there an inn or anything nearby?
There are a few inns in the moderate to near vicinity. The closest one is about 5 minutes from here, but it's been shut down due to the closeness of the fire itself. There is another that's about 20 minutes away or so. It may be different. You may find that you have to sleep on the floor. I will warn you now, as they've sort of been forced to take in refugees, so to speak, from the buildings that cannot be slept in.
Y'all want to go back to the park I found?
Sounds nice.
Alright, I'll hut over there then, I guess. Okay. If I stop hutting where I am. Let's go.
All right. So you guys head off to Kenna's little hut.
And before we
Location?
Before we set up for sleeping, I want to create or destroy water and make it rain on my little plot.
Okay, fair enough. There's definitely that moment of when the rain comes down, you can practically hear the little yay from all the individual blades of grass, which I imagine sounds kind of weird.
But they seem happy for the time being anyway.
2. Head up.
Hup, hup.
I'm just gonna tell the plants we're gonna sleep there for the night.
They appear to have no particular comment on that.
Figured.
I don't think it's all that weird for grass to be slept on. I don't think it really bothers it all that much.
It would probably smell a lot better than the people who usually sleep there.
Are you insinuating that the Stronghold has a homeless problem?
I mean, the market rung has at least a few vagrants who are looking to abuse our ring towers to get from place to place.
They didn't exactly look homeless.
Well,
I imagine them being pretty homeless.
they couldn't afford the one silver.
Boy, are you going to be surprised when you find out where they're from.
Sewage run.
Yeah. Definitely
it's
the
It's all a trick.
I'm just double blinding you here.
That's right.
Just trying to make you paranoid. They actually sleep in a box.
It's very sad.
It's very sad. Yeah, just like super matter of fact, it's very sad. All right. So if you guys are going to head in for a long rest, obviously, Kenna, it sounds like you're changing out some spells, so maybe we'll just cover that real quick. Is anybody else going to change anything now that you know kind of the situation?
I don't got anything that's even remotely useful.
I mean, you do provide the plus to the saving throws, so I mean, like, that's at least nice to have passively. Do paladins get like a resistance aura at any point?
I have spell damage resistance in my aura already.
Right,
But
that's right. That's the one.
Spell damage is
But not as you say, casual elemental damage.
No.
Well, at least you may be able, if the elementals inside themselves count as magical damage, you may be able to do something with
I
that.
can set more stuff on fire.
That's always helpful. We'll burn this fire out.
We'll burn this fire so hot it just goes right.
I'd have so much more options when I can cast third level spells.
The trauma of being a paladin, getting your third level so late. What's that, like another, not next level, but the level after that for you?
Well, because paladins are half casters, right?
I work like quarter cast.
Oh, they're quarter
Yeah,
casters.
they get-
Okay,
they're
he doesn't
really
get third
restricted.
until like 11, I think.
It's mostly because, like, even third level paladin spells are pretty freaking strong.
Wave of destruction.
Isn't that a 5th level paladin spell, though?
Oh, yeah, that is destructive, but you can abuse a
Destructive
bard
wave.
by grabbing it early.
Yeah, you could only get it with your bard
destructive wave.
last team. You know, tenor. A man will have to discuss another time.
I'll get my
No.
thirds at 9th.
Okay, so it is
Nice.
not next level, but the level after that.
Mm.
So I was right.
I'll get 4th to 13th and 5th until 17th.
You guys will just have to go fight some really tough quests. Power level up that paladin.
Yeah.
Try not to die at the same time, but you know.
There's going
Grind
to be a
some slimes.
major
Grind some slimes.
at number at level 8.
You said you had the resistance to poison. Just go fight something in the sewers. That's probably pretty poisoning.
Well, we'll fight the boss from Conquer's Bad Fur Day, the giant food.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Mighty blue, and I'm going to throw my shit at you.
What are you stuck on, Kenna?
Rearranging all the spells.
Arranging all things.
So you're definitely taking that tidal wave?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I mean, I can give you till our next session to figure out what if you want to switch. We're approaching a semi-decent cutoff time for this one, and I think everybody said they were good to end early today, so we'll do that. All right. Is there anything else anybody wants to cover before we... anything...
Should I do my portent now or next session?
Yeah, you may as well do it now.
Yeah, I want to see it now. Maybe the luck changes when it's at the end.
I mean, I rolled the last ones at the end and the luck was pretty average, so.
That's true.
But we'll see.
I mean, what's the worst
Maybe the
thing that
dice are going to work with me today. Come on, lucky portent. Ooh, that's a 3. Someone's failing something.
That's not the worst thing to have going into possibly elementals.
3. And then a nat 20. No, 5. Oh, 2 fails.
Two guaranteed fails. Not the worst thing in the world.
So the fire fails and shit.
Just pour it in the fire now. One that gets its resistance to water, just fire elemental's just like, what the fuck, man?
The sergeant's just like, the fire is down.
All right. Well, in that case, I think we'll end here for today then, and we'll find out how the party handles the fire next time.
Yeah, we got nowhere.
All right.
Wow, what a cliffhanger. I wonder what's going to happen next time. Seriously, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening in. If you liked what you heard, share us with your friends. If you hated what you heard, share us with your enemies. Seriously, though, like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll find out what happens to Double Doubles and Dragons next time.